A special good afternoon to everybody who has tuned in to Radio Windy Bay 98.3 and also live on Facebook on Radio Windy Bay 98.3. It's been a very long time on the show. This is the Windy Politan show, and we took a very much needed break. Thank God we are back. It is better, it is stronger, it's even more beautiful, and it promises to be more interesting and more fun this time around this season, let's say. And today is Sunday, like we always do. Every Sunday we come your way with the Windy Politan show from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. And in the studio with me, I have my co-host, the very good Miss K, and of course the lost but found Dada K. Before we took that very long break, he was actually long gone. Before we took that long break. Where did you go?
Oh, but I surfaced at the last minute before we went to the break.
It's a wet surface for me. So he agrees that he got lost.
Yeah, he got lost.
Miss K gave me bad coordinates. The coordinates were not coordinating.
Which is? Oh my God.
Anyway, so together we are going to have this show with you. I believe that you're going to have a wonderful time. And today what we are discussing, we're talking about, is it important that you seek parental consent from both sides before you settle down? You've met somebody, you want to settle down, you've gone to their house to meet their parents, and for whatever reason, I can't tell, they say that it's a no. Would you still go ahead to marry this person? Because, like people would always say, it's the two of us and nobody else. It's me and you against the world. Or you will still rely on, parental consent, that your parents approve of you before you go on with it. Anyway, so this is what we are talking about. You can drop your comments to us on Facebook. Just go to Facebook, you type Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM, and then you drop your messages to us there. You can join in, share the link with friends, and then let's have this conversation. And my good self, my name is Nanama. Together until it is 2:30, we bring you the Windy Politan show. So let me just go straight to my guest and then welcome them properly. Miss K, how are you? It's been a long time on this show.
Yes.
Yeah. And the tons of questions of, hey, you people, won't you come? Yeah, we were cooking something. Finally, it's cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are dishing it out.
98%.
Yeah. Cooked. But generally, how do you feel?
You asked me a question, right? Can I answer without somebody looking at my face?
Oh, please answer.
Yes.
It's been a long time.
It feels good. It feels good, and well, as you said, it's been a long break, and it's because we're putting some few things together, and we are back. So it feels good to be back.
Definitely.
Right here.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long
like
while.
when Shana Husa.
Yeah, something like we all agree. It's been a while. Sometimes, well, you brood, and then you come back better.
Yeah, sure.
So I believe that the time has offered us opportunity to probably review some other things, and we are better prepared now. Also. So yes, I'm going to give.
And I saw that you had put on your status that this month is men's mental health.
Yes. I find one of the advocacy is to help men help themselves henceforth. Actually, most of globally, most of the cultures and the traditions do not support men being vulnerable. Vulnerable, yes. And this is one of the outlets from which men are losing their lives or themselves to self. And so we pray that this month of June, everyone would help a man, a brother, an uncle, a husband, a boyfriend, to come out and feel accepted, feel given the opportunity to be vulnerable enough so that they would also have some comfort and peace of mind.
So that is it. Support a brother, be a shoulder to a brother, a husband, a friend, a boyfriend, and all of that. Whoever this person
side man.
Is. A son.
A side man.
A side piece. Yeah. I mean, all of that, please reach out to them because we are in the Men's Mental Health Awareness
Month.
Yes. Okay, so that being said, let's get straight into it.
In fact, last one, today is my son's birthday.
Oh, okay.
So
he's like a striking image of you.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Where's the party?
The party, I just killed
that
some
is unacceptable.
on his behalf. Okay, Miss, the way you're looking at me, maybe we'll do a second round.
Better.
So to Samuel Joel Kwekudankwa, I say, Daddy loves you, keep up, and then we'll do the differences out there.
Sure. Okay, so happy birthday to you, my dear, growing grace and wisdom. So straight into the topic, must you settle with your partner without parental consent from both sides? Should I start with ladies first?
No, gentlemen.
Okay, since the lady has given me the opportunity, sure. Briefly, when we talk about relationship, this just opposing relationship in definition towards or tilted towards marriage. And so if it's a relationship and it is marriage or leading up to marriage, then I personally believe that from cosmopolitan settings, others may see that it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
But as a traditional African man and red, I think that we cannot do away with parental consent.
Okay.
Parental consent here referred to as any other person or individual who has a form of control or a form of authority over you, whether male or female, man or woman, so that they are able to apply the rules of engagement that can bind the two of you in terms of the institution called marriage. Other than that, then there are other issues I believe the conversation would bring out where a lot of challenges are going to come up, and there will not be the foundations well set for others to come in to help. The word is help. Help the two of you put yourselves back. So one, consent is where you give yourself off to the knowledge or to the terms and conditions that precedes an activity or an action. And so once you consent that your parents should have prior knowledge and give you their permission and consent to what you are going to put yourself into, which is ahead of you, not knowing what can happen, then they are part of you in the relationship. So they are able to bear things that would come your way with you. They are able to also celebrate with you things that will come your way. And so that bit of me believes that it is good. I don't want to go religious, but it is good in commonplace that you sought consent, you sought permission from those others who have some amount of authority or direction over your life.
All right. So you believe that it's important that we seek parental
Very
consent?
important.
Ms. K, let me ask you also your thoughts on this, then I would want to find out, some follow-up stuff from you. So you think it's important that...
I want to say that it depends on the ages of these partners.
Okay.
There are some ages that at a point these two people appear quite responsible and they know what they want. So it's not as if it is disrespectful or you are going against cultural values, but at a certain point you would know when you reach that age that you are making the right decision. Okay. And when I posted this thing on my status, someone came to say that there are times that these parents ruin these beautiful moments for the partners, so that we find out that these partners have built something beautiful for themselves or for each other, and then they present their desires to parents, and for one reason or another that you may not even want to mention, there's a parent who says, no, I don't want this kind of person to be part of my family, and I don't want, they use so many criteria to in a way fail one candidate who may be a partner who is trying to settle with the other person. That is not to say that don't seek parental consent, but I'm saying it from the perspective that if these people are of reasonable and responsible ages and they believe that whatever decision they are taking or contract they are signing would pass, then why not? Because we have people from Ghana or from where we come from. We believe that parents should always be involved in some of these decisions. You find out that they travel outside the country and then they make their own decisions even before they inform their parents or other parties. So I think that because they know that they are of a certain age and they believe the decision they are making is good for them. And for that reason, I think it is really not a straitjacket or a menu that should be placed side by side that by all means do this, although it may have its repercussions. So that's my take for now.
Okay, so you wouldn't rule it out that it's not proper that you ignore.
Yeah.
Neither would you say that you should solely.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to find out something. Given the fact that these are the parents you are going to seek all these consent from, you as a person, shouldn't you know the parents you have, the family you are coming from, before you know, sometimes I feel some parents, some way, somehow communicate to their children or with their children on certain things or certain ways that you should live your life and certain things you should look out for in a partner before you settle. And I want to believe that if you know your parents so well, there are certain decisions that you will take and have them in mind, knowing that if I come home with this, my parents wouldn't approve. I've seen people who would say that I like you, but if I take you home, I don't think my parents are going to approve of you. And it is because of this, that, and that. Do you think that these partners actually do a disservice to the other partners that they are going to introduce? Especially those who know that, see, if I take you home, I tell you what, my parents wouldn't accept you. But anyways, I love you and I'm taking you. You've led this person on. Sometimes, you know, I feel like people invest emotionally too much into, let's not even talk about the finances and all of that, because some way, somehow, money will be spent. But let's talk about the emotional damage that these things causes to people. So you would realize that one of them or both of them have invested, especially a lot of emotions into this relationship, knowing, assuming I know that, oh, if I go home with a young man with dreadlocks, my parents are not going to accept. If I go home with a young man with tattoos, then you lead this man on and tell the person, oh, don't worry, it's me and you, so when we go. Do you think that we are the ones who are doing these partners a disservice?
No, so for me, based on what you have said, I believe that before you meet someone and you decide to go a step further with a person, if you know that everything or every decision that you're going to take would need a stamp from your parents for you to move to the next level, then it should be that kind of yardstick to let you know which kind of person you are approaching. Okay, now barring all these circumstances, when you put them behind and then later on you go and then you talk to this person that you know full well that your parents are not going to accept, talk to that person and then you allow the person to invest their emotions and everything in you, and at the end of the day, when it reaches that peak that you have to take the person to meet your parents, you go like, my parents don't like people with tattoos. So why did you begin this in the first place? If that is what you are saying, that they know, they're in the known, you know your parents would want you to come home with someone who looks very prim and proper and would even eat fufu with cutlery. And then you, why are you looking at my face? And then, yeah, like your parents would like to have someone who eats fufu with cutlery, like, you know, and the one you are having right now are those eating fufu with, you know, or person or Schrodinger. No, you just mess the person's life just like that. And most of the time, you find out that it is very difficult for these people to revert to their old, whatever, selves before they met you. Okay? So that if you know your family is this kind of family, there are these situations where, well, someone gets lucky, she gets accepted. Most of these things are movie lines. But in reality, Even if you are forced by your partner into that family, don't take care, you are never going to be happy, because the way you even got in the first place wasn't the right one. Are we okay? Yeah. So if I know that this kind of person, my parents wouldn't like them, it is difficult, like, to look at somebody's face and say that my mom or my dad will not accept someone from this kind of background. It's insulting, because the person didn't choose himself or herself or to be that way. You get it? So that if you use that as a measure to disqualify somebody from being part of you, it's rather unfortunate. Now, you can avert this by not approaching that kind of person at all. That is, to me.
But you know what they say about love goes where love is. So maybe it wasn't in your plan.
Where you are going, the barrier is not open.
No. So see, it wasn't in the plan. So for somebody whose parent believes in a very responsible, let me use that word, a responsible looking young man, because our own perception of responsible is somebody who is well dressed, well mannered, and all of that. Sometimes we even forget to focus on the character of the person. But just by appearance, you can tell that, oh, this looks like quite a responsible young man or a responsible young woman. So love goes where love is. You didn't plan to fall in love with this person. Along the way, you've fallen in love and you realize that, okay, I may have dated quite a number of people in the past, they didn't help me, but this very person who is actually opposite to everything that my parents or even me personally have grown to think that I can't be with, is a person that takes all my boxes. In this situation, are you going to say that because you found peace and safety with this person, you are going to damn the consent of your parents to marry? Let me go to you, come to you. That will for you.
Right. So I'm happy you made mention. Are you going to damp the consent and then just be with the person? Because in the initial stages, you feel like Miss K intimated, you are old, you are experienced, and so you have the wits, the grits, the guts to stand on your own to make some decisions. You can never anticipate what's ahead enough, and so culture makes it imperative that you respect it. Respecting it doesn't mean that you fall for all its tenets, but respect it. If you respect it, then you are able to have that sigh of relief because of the dependence that comes with allowing parents to be part of the process. You know, being part, yes, has its good and its bad. But then, I believe from a lot of the things I have seen in life, largely when parents are involved, it has been better than when they did it on their own. Parents coming in and creating problems, I believe we'll talk about that subsequent. But then the intention is not that parents come in and so there's trouble. Usually it is one of the couples who dissents the way the parents have come in. That makes it trouble. I don't know if you're getting the drift. Parents usually don't come in creating problems, usually. But it is the other significant person, whether the male who or the female who thinks the in-law might have done something that he or she does not ascribe or subscribe to. So it is a problem. Other than that, they come in to provide support systems. If you look at most of the family system theories, it tells you that significant others are quite significant in your achievement processes. And so if you set goals and you don't have people that can make you feel dependent, feel relaxed, feel they're your backbone to support, then ultimately you will even finish and you go home to your television. Right.
Do you think that, you know what they say about the elders and our parents, that sometimes what they see sitting down Even when you stand on top of an iroko tree, you wouldn't see.
You may never see.
Right now you see it.
Well, you
There's
see.
the drone is there.
You have a drone
You have
capture.
a good to capture.
You know,
Right now you see everything.
I've heard a number of them, you know, first-hand experience and all of that, how parents have warned of certain people in their children's life. They went on ahead with it. It didn't really go well, and they don't know how to also come back. So it's like you call you know you want to talk to somebody. It's not a friend you want to talk to. You want to talk to either your dad or your mom. And you actually call and tell, oh, I'm afraid because I know what to say. Meanwhile, this is about the third time you are calling in a day to find out how they are. Because you do not know how you are going back to say you said it. And a parent wouldn't say, I told you so. You get. So it looks like it is not something we can, or let me rephrase. Is it that we can't entirely ignore our parents' consent? But you know, some parents, they don't really like this person because of any good reason.
That is my point.
So
that is my point.
Classical example, I have this young girl who is with this young man. Then at some point, the supposed mother-in-law is all about her, oh, we can't wait to marry you and blah, blah, blah. Then as the relationship is progressing, when they are now thinking of properly settling down, so I mean marriage right and all of that, she visits this would-be mother-in-law, returns home, and everything has changed. Why? Because she looks like the other brother-in-law's wife who doesn't have subai. So the assumption there is, since you look like her, then it means the possibility of you also behaving as bad as she did is so high. And truthfully, the relationship didn't go anywhere.
No, you see, like you're saying, perceptions are there. You can never run away from perception, without which you are not human. Because if you don't perceive, how are you able to take a risk towards what you think?
But is
can
it
happen?
enough to perceive something without basing it on facts?
So, no, you can, not all decisions are made on facts. Not
But
all.
I mean, that would be too great for you to take such decisions.
No, I'm not supporting any sides of this coin. What I'm saying is that you can never assume people make decisions without assumptions. Sometimes the assumption becomes the baseline for you to even build on the problem. Because assumption would trigger a certain investigation. All right. So I seldom accept the fact that somebody will say, oh, it was just based on assumption. Yes, assumptions are good. My problem with that, which you just said, was that how far did the mother-in-law, would-be mother-in-law, go after having that perception with the young lady in question? Did she interact with her further? And how well was the young lady also prepared to host the innuendos of the would-be mother-in-law? You see, so that if these two people are operating on a good wavelength, then the daughter-in-law would realize that the problem is up. I mean, problem is coming. I like this guy. I mean, unfortunately, this is a perception. Mother-in-law also knows problem is coming. This young lady hasn't done much against me, but is putting up as though the one that is in that relationship.
So listen to this trivial assumption. So Miss K looks like me. Because Miss K treated my, you get, Miss K is married to my other son. I'm also here to get married to the other son. But Miss K treated, or based on her judgment, Miss K doesn't treat the other son right. And because I look like Miss K, then the possibility that I'm also going to treat the other son bad is high.
This is not trivial.
Is it?
It
It is not.
I feel like it's so
Our
trivial.
siblings.
So a case came
Not
up.
based on character,
No, a
but
case
based on
came
appearance.
up. A case came up. Well, when you want to talk about appearance, it is not. A guy's wife is leaving him. Anytime she sees any woman that looks like her in the guy's life, then trouble would come. That's sheer perception.
Is that how
Looks.
you go about
No, I'm not saying that,
so
that's somebody's problem.
So right now you are fighting God's creation because
thank God you said problem.
So that's why I'm saying that.
Thinking.
That's what I'm saying. It is an
people look alike for no reason.
A fair guy broke my heart, so I have to vent out on every other fair guy that I meet.
Some people have that as a problem.
That's let me excuse me.
But it's never trivial.
That is being a bit mad.
No, not at all. Not at all. You see, we have our resilience, we have our perception precipitate, we have our levels of judgment.
You are telling me that if anybody who looks like you had offended me in the past and I felt like shooting the person, if I see you right, I shoot you.
Nana, somebody sees a dress you're wearing and somebody offended him or her wearing this same dress, you become enemy. You know, so that's why I'm saying we don't let us not
really,
say it is trivial. No, my concern is the trivialness. It is never trivial. People
can we agree that it's trivial?
It is not.
Trivial.
It is never trivial. It is never trivial because this, like you just said, can send somebody to jail and someone to the morgue.
See,
if it can happen,
because look at the way they look alike.
No.
So I'm thinking,
if somebody can land in a morgue and somebody can land in jail in a lifetime sentence, then it's never trivial. I just will not accept it. Because if it is trivial, then it means they should be drinking water and smiling over it.
I think.
But this one can
I
learn.
have done the same thing to you, then you can.
No. You see, people have. That's why people have their differences, and so once the person makes you know that this shoe you're wearing, I had one, somebody stole it. Once I've seen you wearing, I think it was Mama Kai. Please be on guard.
At that point,
so be on guard. Don't say it is trivial.
It is. To me, it is. I think you give people chances. Okay, you give people chances. You as much as I'll say it's trivial, I'll say it is a fact because you are likely to see someone who looks like somebody, and then there's an attraction and a likeness. So there was So there was a time I saw this woman at church.
Say it.
You need to be baptized all over again. So I saw this woman at church, and the way she was, carrying herself, the way she sat, and her composure and everything. I said, "Hey, Lydia, this is my mom." After church, I was going out and I asked her, "Oh, Mama, where are you going?" She said, "Oh, what? Just here. I stay just here, so it's okay. Thank you very much." Apparently, she is the mother of somebody I know. So the day she told me that, "Oh, this is my mom," I said, "She really looks like my mom. Not face per se, but the way she was doing certain things." And I won't say that I like her, but when I see her, I admire her. Okay, in the same way, you see someone whose face
looks like me.
Whose face looks like someone you don't like at all. The moment you say, wait, and then you hate the person. However, it is not that person. We've all once or twice been in that situation. And this is quite a serious issue, which can be said to be trivial because it is not just meeting the person for meeting's sake. For crying out loud, this is your son's fiance or girlfriend or whatever it is. So for you to put that jacket on that person,
I think it's unfair.
It's unfair. And this is some of the reasons that people will say that I'm not going to take my partner to the house.
And that is where the problem is.
That is where the problem begins because unfortunately, when you refuse to take partners to see your parents or your mother figures or father figures, Charlie, nipa to me gunipenima is simple. You realize, after all, Nasa women will be in India, and they feel they don't owe anybody any obligation. When
something happens, who are you going to
Exactly, tell? They don't owe anybody any obligation, so they misbehave. But when some people too, there are some people, just show them to the president of whoever it is,
Yeah.
But there are some people who look up to certain people to say that asimesin tino. Like, I'll think about it. You understand me? And that is the reason for which, even during marriage ceremonies, they go like, when you have a problem, see this person. when everything you have done fails to resolve, this is the person you have to what? Consult. There are some people who will just take that in good faith, so that when there's a problem, they'll go and see this other person, and that is where it becomes necessary. But there are other times too that you realize that obi a wari react to say, oh yeah, oboneno faniko baby friend is a hindering. The person doesn't care. You understand me? And I still hold on to the fact that before people would even listen to other people, you as a responsible person, in which position or at which point are you meeting that person you are with? Because first and foremost, make it make sense. You guys met each other first before you felt that you have to make others know your stance in whatever you felt for each other. You get me? So that in the situation where there was nobody for you to even look up to present your feelings and make it open, who were you going to consult? Are you getting what I'm saying? We've had issues or situations with people who traveled outside the country, even decided to get married, and those people who witnessed their ceremonies were mere friends whom they also met outside. They were not their parents, okay? But they felt that, okay, damn every form of circumstance, if something happens, I believe I can resolve it. So there's the point where you have to be mature first before you go and sit in front of your parents and go and, in fact, I see it as a disgrace. Me, I am very say you couldn't, when something happens, you couldn't manage it, okay? And then you go there, then you go and sit there like a child. What must I say? Asemba ni panic. My grandmother, may her soul rest in peace, she's used to saying something. Yes, or say assembly ni why this kind. Yes, but before we even start talking, can we take responsibility? For myself, me say that
is where the problem.
That is where the problem is. So
wants to take responsibility.
Yes. So at that point, I believe that let me first know what I want first before I send it to my parents. So that I won't go and disgrace myself. Once upon a time, there was a guy who told me that I said, why don't you want people to know? No, but me so me sure was I grow when nisu kakra. I won't go and take it for you to go and disgrace me.
Not what you could feel.
Me say no to bonus and grow.
Anyway, in case you just tuned in, you are listening to the Politan show on Radio Winnie Bay 98.3 FM and also live on Facebook on Radio Winnie Bay 98.3 FM. Today we are talking about, must you settle with your partner if you are not getting parental consent from both families? So you've met this person, you've fallen in love, and you believe that you can spend the rest of your life with, and so you decided that you take the relationship, a step further. So you take this person to your parents, and your parents say, it's a no, we don't approve, you can't go find another person, we do not approve of this person. Sometimes if you are fortunate enough, they are going to tell you why. Other times, a few times, they'll just tell you, it's a no. Now, you can also send us your messages. Just drop it live on our Facebook feed, Would like to hear from you. If you have personal experiences, why not share with us? So this one says, from Brad Justice, kudos to you all for such a wonderful topic of the day. Miss K, your example, dear, I did like I'm eating fufu with satu, no? Then Deborah Sava says, Miss K, all right. Now the topic is interesting, yes. At what point in a relationship should you even think of going to introduce or having conversations about your possible partners with your parents? I believe that if you want to sail through this is my thought.
At what
when
point?
You meet people and your parents are likely to, give consent as to being with people or not being with people, don't you think that when you start a relationship, you would want to just let them be in the known a little bit, not, too forward by saying, I'm going to marry this person, but this is somebody I've met. I'm trying to know what you also think. At least, is it possible that we can do this before it progresses into something that it's like we are too invested and we don't have the approval, so we want to go out of it? That will I'll start with you.
Yeah, let's look at it from another angle. You went to buy a shirt.
What size? Material?
And this is 100% cotton, a bell gray, and the price is cool. It's £100.
Aish.
And you're saying that you would want to wear the shirt in your house only.
And we're going.
And so that people or the sun will not have contact with your dress. Weathering will not weigh down the color of the pigments of the shirt and all that. How does it sound? To me, it sounds weird. A relationship is to demonstrate that the two of you have common things and you are together. And society should see.
Okay.
I mean, after all, that's a shaggy.
That's the word.
That's a shaggy. So right now you are married. What is a shaggy?
Everybody will know.
You are doing this. That is the shaggy. So why would you want to even not want people who are going to see and who are significant to you?
Okay.
That is what we want to get into.
But we have people who will tell you that, no, I want us to hush it until a time that I think it's appropriate. When is the appropriate time? So
and that's what I'm coming to. What makes it appropriate? Appropriateness is a vague condition. In any situation, whether business, romance, whichever, appropriateness is an open-ended and unjustifiable opportunity. Look, right now, Miss K said she just looked at the guy and said, tomorrow morning she can see a character similar, but may want to attempt at it based on some experiences after that episode. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So appropriateness is dependent on you, what you feel.
It's quite relative.
It's quite relative. So that when you met him, you met her, and the two of you can convince yourself, let us give ourselves 3 months. And then let's deal with the other stuff. And then when we are comfortable, we can now move the next step. It's appropriate to you. But it may not be appropriate to Miss K, it may not be appropriate for me, it may not be appropriate for you. So I always tell people, once they say we are wanting to have a relationship, a common relationship where it can lead to marriage, I say, Master, don't hide yourself from anybody. You don't hide yourself from anybody.
People ruin beautiful things, right?
You see, that's why I'm saying that the sun can ruin your beautiful shirt you bought for £150 if you want it to ruin it for you. It will be dependent on how you wear it in the sun.
That is why you have to take your time.
So taking your time is still relative. But you can never, my point in this discussion is that whether you delayed for 2 years before you take parental consent, or you did it one day, the next one you went for parental consent, it's up to you. But without parental consent, don't go the next step.
There's a situation where you go and then they tell you it's too early, wait. Then
you know how our parents do or were doing? They would want to do background check on you. Where you're coming from. Just like Trump is saying, now if you want to go to US, I want to see your Facebook page, the nonsense you write there. You see, these are the things our parents are still doing.
They did.
Some are still doing.
Yes,
they're going to do all these background checks. The family, certain things they do. There are certain things, they become trends.
Yeah.
So you realize it's a pattern. And they would want you to just,
even if they will allow you to go, they want you to be informed so that they know that,
this is really what you want. Let me read this message from my friend George. So it says, you are talking about Suban. Some won't look at you because of tribe why. But inside, one senior can just punish you because you bear the same name the lady their boyfriend left them for. The mother-in-law has a point. Okay. Says appropriateness is when you can deal with 50% of the shege that comes with relationship. So that is her thought. You can also drop yours. I think if you are going to date somebody and you really feel that this can lead us somewhere, I think it is good that you drop subtle hints with your parents. just drop subtle hints, because you wouldn't want to lead somebody on. See, nowadays relationships everybody has whatever you think you can offer the other person.
Yeah.
Women are working, men are working. So gone are the days that women are going to be solely dependent on you, the man. Now you see women, you know, they are shakers. Yeah, you get me. So imagine that you are in a relationship with this person. She's not investing. Nobody is thinking about the monies you are investing, because we all can afford whatever we can afford. But at that moment, this person is investing emotions, because you may have gotten almost every material thing that you think you need. It is not the time that a woman is in a relationship because she will get a house, she's going to get clothes, she's going to get trips. Now women are going on trips, women are buying things for themselves, they are like calling shots. Now it is more about the emotional investment. I think you would do yourselves good by dropping subtle hints with your parents. Okay, so I met someone I would like you to meet.
Miss K has met you.
Miss K has met you. She wants to...
I custom bind. I remove myself from that possible simultaneous equation.
See, so Miss K has met you. Eventually, Miss K has to take you home. But Miss K has to go and drop subtle hints. Also, I met somebody, this person is also this person is that. Anyways, we'll talk more about that later. Your parents have registered that. Another time they will ask, oh, this is your person. Hey, Landon, what is saying? How is it going?
Oh, like American Ninja, why you?
Then you see, it's like they start questioning the whole process. So you realize that by the time you would even think, a parent can actually discern from where she sits based on the information given that. I think you would want to observe this person a little more. There are even times that you take these partners to your homes. Your parent might not say anything, but they would find a nice way of saying, oh, oh, okay. Then later on you realize they will be asking you very deep questions. Oh, okay, what's it? Okay, so you know, then when all has been answered, then they conclude by saying,
since you know this much about the person,
exactly,
you couldn't be ordinary.
Yeah, you get.
And you know what? There are times that when the parents believe that these partners have reached a certain age and the person has been waiting, both sides.
Yeah.
And now the and then on the female side, they realize the lady has been waiting for long for someone to come. The moment the person comes in and you go ahead to say that you met person A or B, and that is how comes sometimes you find out that some of these partners, you know, would rather, that's the reason I said you would rather want to check yourself, barring everything, say me and now me, or all my siblings are married and I'm the only person standing, me and I say I come and go, but still the decision should be for me. Because maybe if you go ahead and you tell your parents that I met someone and I want to just talk about the person, we are now talking. Right now they say there's a talking stage. So we are now talking, you are the talking stage. And then it's not right now that you are going to waste time. You don't have time on your hands. At that point, it's not going to help you. That point is really not going to help you. Chester, you want to tell that person that, oh no, she doesn't know she's grown, or the guy doesn't know he's grown. So for me, the age is really a factor. That it is a factor for you, the partners, to decide or discern whether it is right to tell your parents, or you will take that bold decision that, yes, we are this, but I think we have to hold it on a little bit.
You know, so far we've been talking about both families. You know, there are instances that one family actually agrees, but the other person's family says it's a no-go area. So in this situation, do we go on, or are we going to be in the limbo?
No, there's still justification for why they say no. You know.
But do you think that, you see,
You see, for example, let me use medical reasons. I'm AS, she's AS, and we know genuinely. I'm not going to watch here. I'm not looking here. I'm looking here and I'm talking to you. So, hi. So, medically, we've all been to school. We've learned biological traits and human development. And we all know that scientifically it's proven that this is a huge challenge. And parents are aware. We went to a certain bishop and he says that God says you two should marry. It's prophetic. And you are stuck to the prophetic. But meanwhile, the parents are telling you no. Maybe the other side are not too much into it, but your side is well informed. And they say no, they won't subscribe to this. So I don't see it as a limitation.
Okay.
You see, for all the things we have, we've always assumed that once a certain parent group is saying no, it means that they are bad people. You know, that kind of mindset. So that they want to destroy the lives of these young people who are good for each other and stuff. And I'm happy you said, an old man will sit under a Yoko tree and then see. A young man will climb and they'll add up. These days, the satellite is there. You can even use a satellite.
Don't forget there's a drone.
No, there's even a satellite nowadays. You don't need the drone. It can tell you your positioning right now. Show you your house and the car park in front of your house. But the point is that the satellite can still not see enough like the old man will see. But the satellite doesn't have premonitions and emotions.
It's a bit spiritual.
It's a bit spiritual. So once some of these things exist, and we believe, it's not like it is new to us. It's not new to us. I mean, why won't you sit back, the two of you, and look into it? I know people who, when initially they said so, they went back to the drawing table. They looked at themselves and said, okay, let's go back to our parents and talk to them again. Others went, they succeeded. Others went, it was still the same outcome. They broke up. Today, one is married here, one is married there. They are cool.
Okay.
They are okay. Others, they said no, they have faith. They married. Now, children are not coming, excuse me. I mean, that's a fact out there I'm talking to, not to everybody who has that condition, no. The children are not coming into the marriage.
Who is to blame?
Now, they can't go back to their parents, like you were saying. They can't go back to the parents. Now, when they go home for Christmas and Easter, they can't go again because they've all gone past 45, getting to 50 days. There are no children. And even their nieces and nephews that came from their brothers and sisters and cousins have also given birth, and they are lying, they have grandchildren. And you don't even have a child. And when they go, they feel, I mean, a bit uncomfortable. I'm not saying this is justification enough for parents to just also say no to a relationship. Right. Whatever they said they saw, I believe, and from experiences, both personal and working experiences, I believe we need to listen to our parents.
Okay, so Manye Naki says good morning all and welcome back. Thank you. And then Dogbe Agata says good afternoon, Dr. K and everyone. Welcome back. Dr. K and Dr. D, that's from Gifty Rocks in Nyale. And Deborah says that some parents prevent their children from marrying their proposed partners based on their past experiences. Sometimes the fact may be true, but not always true. Currently, instead of the parent to make an inquiry about their to-be-in-laws' family background and their character, they do not do that, but rather based on assumptions to accept or reject their union. Other parents too are still practicing tribalism, which is not helping the current youth. Therefore, if new lovers are not convinced by their parents' views, they neglect parental conscience, consent, which is not also good according to our African culture. Okay. You can also, I think she's got a point, you know. We've seen instances. So personally, when I was growing up, I mean, forgive me for being tribalistic or anything, I think man know thyself. So I felt, based on what I've seen other people go through and other things, I couldn't have been married to a Northerner and I couldn't have been married to an Eve. That was my personal decision. And it's because of some personal experiences I've had with people from that tribe, not necessarily men or anything. And I think that I read a lot about their stereotypes, and I was like, okay, like there's not something that I can really do. And I grew up with some people like that. I saw how some of these men were treating their wives, you see. And I told myself, I don't think so. Whenever I would have to be in a relationship, I think I lean towards that sort of, I don't want to be in this space, and later on, you know, no matter how good you are to me, I think I wouldn't want to lead you on so that we get to a point that it's like, I said, we are worrying.
Exactly the point I mentioned earlier. So let the people know.
I would rather have you as a friend,
yeah,
but I wouldn't want to have you as a life partner.
Yeah.
And it's because of my personal reasons and all of that. That is quite tribalistic.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will say it's not good. But would you rather have me go in and then it's like create problems later on? Yeah. And yes, of course, some families I know.
No, excuse me, that's not tribalistic.
Okay.
You see? When you say tribalistic, from my understanding, it takes you, it connotes the negative aspects of the feelings or what you deal with the person, or to what extent you deal with the person. Then we say tribalistic, so it's in the negative.
Okay.
What you are doing is based on your own assumptions, experiences, and then you've made a decision, which can be ethno, based on tribe. All right, but you determine which extent you drive it. Okay. But when you say tribalistic, it means that you are saying everybody from this group, I will never have anything to do with you, whether it is good or it's bad. No, yours is so good.
Mine is more like
you have decided
a life partner. No,
if a life partner you won't, and you have, I believe you have more friends from there.
Oh yes, I do have a lot.
Remember that earlier I mentioned that if you know that this is what your family abhors, use it as your own manual.
Yeah.
The moment you see that this is where you are going, you don't go leading the people on. So that you get to a point and go like, oh, you know that me, I like you, but if I take you home, my parents don't like people with tattoos.
You know, there was Jerry Justice.
So then why did you get close to
That's
me?
Injustice from you.
Exactly. And then as for my house, we don't like people who are above size 14.
You remember Jerry
Yes,
Justice?
you know I'm a bouncy baby girl.
Bouncy, I like that. Give me five.
You remember in the media space, Jerry Justice and Amanda GC had this issue. So it looked like they had been dating for a long time. Should I say courting, right? They had courted for a long time.
Whether courting or whether they were there.
They were there. There was a situation. So up until the time they thought there was going to be a marriage, then Jerry told Amanda that the family doesn't like fancies. And you know, they brought it to the media space and it was all over, and you could feel the hurt in
the pain.
Like, but I've been
but you
to your
know
house.
all this.
They know me, like we've been vibing and all of that. At one point did they say, didn't you know this when we started dating, that your family don't like?
You scattered my life.
It was quite messy.
So Nana, do you agree that the age is a factor? The age gives you that sense of responsibility to know whether am I taking that decision, okay, or am I just going to give it to my parents? Because be mature to know that this is what it is, this is what isn't. Are we good? So that if you are mature about it, at the beginning, if you knew that in your house.
Well, maturity is not in age, actually. I want to say that.
That's why I said be mature.
Yes, I love the mature. Like, so it's not in the age, actually. I've had young girls walk into my office. Miss K, they are very mature. Very, very, very. One stood up and said, sir, if I'm a guy and you have issues, tell it to my face. I'll reply. If you have to shout at ourselves, we lock the door, we shout small. Then when we finish, we are done. It ends there. And the guy went and told somebody else, and somebody else before it came to me. So for which reason she's breaking the relationship. And that's ends it. You see, that's a mature person. Because she has said what she wants, how she wants it. If she even offends you and you want her to apologize, just tell it to her. Tell her, I want you to apologize. She will apologize, even when she doesn't mean it. And that's how she says she has treated the relationship. But when you go and tell some other person, because she knows that when she comes, the things she will want to say about you to the person, she may not be able to say all. what you did her wrong, she will be able to say, oh, so let's not go and tell the other party.
But seriously, I subscribe to that. I did whatever it is to you. So why don't you tell it to me?
I also don't completely. But
because it has actually caused people a lot of deaths than has been reported.
Oh, of course. No, I'm saying that
this whole idea, and I think it is one of the languages that narcissists use.
No,
I don't want to. No, please, can I make my submission?
No, let me land on the premise.
Okay.
She's saying this is what she wants.
Exactly.
So, like, I'm watching it on what Miss K was saying. You know, this is what the person wants. If you want her, then play like that.
That is what I actually have a problem with.
No. You see, don't have a problem with that now. We are talking about what people want. So you don't wait for it to escalate. Then you come and tell me that my family doesn't like people who, when problem comes, they say we should solve it ourselves and not send it to people. I don't know whether you are getting the drift.
I'm not, because I'm still at where I want to. I want to make my submission.
The person says, this is who I am.
But you see, you can't go into relationships with this is who I am.
So back out.
We make compromises for relationships to work.
Who has sent you there?
You have sent yourself. Emotions have sent you
so
there.
withdraw.
The fact that you can't be in a relationship with yourself, you can't marry yourself, you can't give birth with yourself.
People who have similar
the fact that you are going to be with other people tells you that you make sacrifices, you make compromises. Listen, one of the languages that narcissists use is that they drive people away from me. I don't want you to tell anybody stuff that happens with that. I don't want you to tell this person. And they sort of use that to control you.
Yeah.
So they abuse you emotionally, they abuse you verbally, physically abuse you. And you can't tell the other person because I don't want our issues to go out there to the third party. And you are stuck there and they are maltreating you. And because you want to, do the bidding of the person who says that I don't want my stuff going out there. If I do something, look at how narcissists behave. You did a thing. You tell them. Then suddenly they break out with tears. Oh, I'm sorry. You hurt me. And then.
But Nana, on a serious note, you deal with people with whom you have issues. Okay, I have an issue with you. Well, that's maybe my policy, but I have an issue with you. I handle you with the issue right there, and I know what I'm saying. Somebody who can relate. This is the issue.
Which I'm going to deal with.
You are not mobile. You handle the issue with the person and then it goes off. Now that doesn't mean that maybe if you in turn have an issue with me, you are going to handle it that way. But by and by, I would learn to know that when you have an issue with me, even after we have talked about it, you want someone to hear you out. And these are some qualities of people who want to be validated by other people. You understand me? But in any case, the two of you had the issue. Okay, I don't want you to tell anybody, dear. No, dear, you are not the only person I know. I have other people with whom maybe I would want to pour. I would want to pour out, maybe cry for them to pat me on the back.
There is this saying out there that you were pricked by a nail. You are going to report the issue. You've gone back to the nail to tell the nail that. Have you seen that? You are not going to get
the person is not.
So you do not go back to vent onto the person that in fact started the whole thing. Sometimes you don't get results. It's only some trivial stuff like but for very serious deep things that ends up people dying and all of that.
I still feel that if somebody gives you the qualities and the characteristics of himself, the qualities of the person he or she wants to be with, and you feel you are not that person, why do you force yourself?
Please, let me put this out there. Let me put this out there. First of all, if you have bad character, nobody is going to condone your nonsense out there. Change your character. Nobody is going to live with you because you are so full of nonsense and you should accept it. Look, imagine being with a guy who is so full of himself.
Imagine being with a lady who is full of herself.
Yes, I don't mind. Hold on.
The way you guys are going, I can't score.
You can't score.
Yes, so please. So take your time.
Imagine this guy is so full of nonsense, then accept me the way I am. That is how I am. Then, hey, my brother, if I should also, like I told you yesterday when we were chatting, that Nigerians have a saying, I say, see, where your craze stops is where mine
somebody's
starts. Yeah. If you think you are mad, somebody is mad, you don't start. Let's find a balance. Can we find a common ground? You may have grown with a certain attitude. When you talk, nobody talks. I may have also been raised in a family where you are given the chance to air your opinion. Can we have a balance? You did something. Can we discuss this? Okay, so this is it. I'm not disrespecting you, but I think I want to draw your attention to something. It makes sense. Don't come and call me and say as if you have given birth to me. Hey,
I still don't.
It doesn't make sense. Like, let's make compromises.
When you are in a relationship and somebody says this is what I want, and you have condoned that, you have been with it. I'm not sure in the middle. You can just say you don't like it.
I can say I don't like it.
So if you say you don't like it, then what happens?
So you
read these messages.
Because seriously, so did you not know that? Won't you stop in order for a different one?
Let me read this.
That's what I'm saying.
Can I read these messages?
Take a new plate.
So Susan says, I see you dogs. Then Gifty says, the parent opinion matters a lot. Susan says, it's not wrong to have personal biases when it comes to making such a critical decision. Kudos, I'll bouncy Dr. K. Then they'll say, take me for who I am. Nonsense. I mean, that is around nonsense. Nobody is taking anybody for who
no,
you have bad character. Work on it.
No. That, you see, we haven't got, the conversation hasn't got into where you say you have bad character.
That right from the start.
Okay, yeah. So hold on.
The relationship.
I just want to announce the scoreboard. But the issue here is that everyone who has a questionable character knows.
Exactly.
Okay, and they have continued in that character because over the years, people have learned to go by that mantra of that is how they are. At a point, it has to stop.
It has to stop. That nonsense must
stop.
stop.
Where you come from, I know where Nana is still in it.
You see, you know where I'm coming from.
I know. You see, where I get you, if I'm understanding you well, this is who I am. Bruh, she says that's who she is. Sister, he says that's who he is. Back out. Don't condone it. But you are living with it.
Once upon a time, there was a child who was drinking light soup. I don't know who soup. So sometimes the person is able to be yes. So sometimes you look above. That is how they in expectancy say, okay, nobody can meet you.
A short man doesn't
you kill yourself.
After whatever.
Nana, you kill yourself. You kill yourself.
And then the dying is what you are preventing.
So
you have bad character.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't got to that point yet. If you are not comfortable with this is who I am, leave. Cut it.
How many times are you going to let people go?
But you see those people are quite manipulating.
You know,
yeah,
the person is manipulating you. You have realized it. Why are you still staying?
Imagine a guy who emotionally abuses you, verbally abuses you, physically abuses you. Then the next moment he's produce something that you've been craving. That's manipulation.
That's compensation.
You get compensation.
That's how I'm defining it. That's compensation. Because
I think our time is up.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because if you are staying, then it means you feel compensated. But if you left after the gift, he knows you are serious.
You know, it's a shame, actually.
So leave.
It's a shame.
I would never encourage anyone, any day, if you feel manipulated, to stay. Leave.
You know, sometimes people don't really have that willpower to leave.
Please, don't die.
I
Don't
say,
die. Don't die.
She's died like that.
You see, people have mental issues, so.
Serious one.
So if you
Many
want to add somebody's own to yours, you die, and at your funeral they come and read your tribute. Oh, this was a lovely man. I loved him.
Who tolerated everybody?
Everybody that came my way. Oh God, why have you taken him away from me at this time?
Having gained an angel.
And then they will share the funeral jollof.
Oh, party jollof. Come on.
The one with smoke inside.
Smoke inside.
People will eat it.
With a pinch of saliva. Very nice.
And then they'll go and plant you. You see, please, we all die anyway, but people have issues.
I know, right?
People have mental issues. People have deeper ones. Let us forge. Let us look at the person. If you feel it is not good enough, You can track out and then build your differences and track in again.
Okay, so on that score, Susan says that my bouncy baby duck. Then Deborah says the women are trying to win you duck, but I'm with you, pa.
Hey, Debbie, be careful.
Then Susan says again that Radio Winnie Bay, I feel like sitting in this room with you. You always have great topics for this.
All the way from Medugri. Susie, please come.
Thank you so much. We are grateful for, having
let's hook up live. Let's get the live.
Yeah, maybe Susie, because of you, would host you live so that
please take us as we are.
Yeah, take us as we are.
All right, a lot has been said. I mean, we never seem to exhaust topics on this show because there is so much to be said. However, I think we've said enough for us to all know that it is ideal, no matter the situation, that we seek parental consent. See, know the family you are coming from. Unless, of course, you're an island and you are living on your own, you don't need people around you. Don't also forget that if you settle with somebody who tells you that I do not want to introduce you to my family because I know how they are, Madam, say, if something happens to you, you wouldn't have anybody to tell. There was just recently, there was this issue on radio where a guy is with a lady, and of course the lady says, I don't want to take you to my family, they will ruin it, they will mess it up for us, and she died. Now you wouldn't bury somebody without their family, so who are you going to? That is a whole police case, and they had to now call on people here and there and all of that. You would have to go and marry the corpse, bury the corpse, and all manner of rights and expenses. I don't think that you want to put yourself through all this stress. So please, if the parent says no, please it's a no. Don't force yourself. Okay, Ms. K, it seems you really have last word.
No, I just want to say thank you to a few peeps.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's one goes to Dr. Gifty Roxin from SPED.
Okay.
And thank you so much for making time to, and it goes to Abiola of Hypers as well.
Okay.
I think next time we'll be seeing them right here
Sure.
in the studios. And there's another wonderful person. I wouldn't want to mention the person's name. All others from outside Ghana and all that. Whatever we do on the Winnie Politan show, please, as you have said, take us as we are. I think it's my final word.
All right.
You didn't add me.
Who are you?
Take me as I am.
All right, so please make sure that you get parental approval.
Yeah.
Don't go ahead of yourself. When you start a relationship, please be dropping subtle hints to your parents so that some of these conversations, would be had prior to your major introduction of this is going to be my life partner and all of that. Okay, it's been a wonderful, fruitful conversation in here, and I told you that the comeback is going to be bigger, it's going to be better, and of course we've delivered, I want to believe. Same time next week, we will be here in the studio of Radio Winnie Bay 98.3 FM, and always on live on Facebook, also Radio Winnie Bay 98.3 FM, and then you can also go there to enjoy, even if you missed. So you can still share the link with friends so that they also listen. Let's give shout outs to Osman, senior producer. And then also to Benedict. There is something I want to say to Benedict. Unfortunately, he has to take me as I am. I don't want to say it.
And I've been seeing Ampombi online. Where is Ampombi?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
No, he's joined online.
It's been a long time I saw him.
Yeah.
Really.
Ampombi, please surface and let's see your
your
celebrity self. Yeah.
Yes. And to our other production guy, thank you so much.
And then our studio audience. What's her name? Elikem.
From Home Economics.
From Home Economics.
Thank you so much for making it to the studio today. So, it's been Miss K, Bouncy Baby Girl. Thank you. Dr. Dada Kid. And my good self, Nanama. Same time next week, we will be here to do more on the Winnie Politan show. Have a wonderful week.